Now here comes the second part of the programming. That is, we are going to be more careful about the way we are going to implement something. Instead of just accomplishing the task, we want to make our codes cleaner and more readable. So when writing a program, always remember the concept of dry, D-R-Y. So what is dry? It is don't repeat yourself. So when writing some logic, especially certain operations, if we want to use it over and over again, we are not actually supposed to copy and paste the codes and write it everywhere. In fact, we are going to extract it to a different section and use that particular section repetitively. So by doing that, if we have the changes to the operation one day, we only have to change one place, that particular section, instead of changing all around the codes. So this is the benefits of not repeating the logic itself, by extracting the operations out. Another thing is that we always want to break down the problem into smaller problems when we are trying to solve any kind of issues. So by extracting the logic into several parts, we are actually able to trace the order of operations more easily. Try to imagine that you only have a main method and you're writing hundreds of lines at the same method. It will be a very confusing main method. So by extracting like different operations, such as when you're getting input, then you have a particular function of getting input, and when you are processing, you have different parts that are in charge of processing, like in the sequence. Then when you want to output, you have another part to output the result. It will be cleaner and easier to understand for other programmers as well. So now I'm going to introduce to you a very useful item that we need, that is method. So in Java, method is like a function in other programming languages, which this main is actually one of the methods that we have, and the only method that we have currently. So this is the main method. So in order to create a method, first we need several keywords. The first one is the I think this is the accessor of the method, that we can set whether it is usable in this package only or it is usable in anywhere in the project, and so on and so forth. So setting public means everywhere can actually use the method as we need. So the second keyword is whether we should put a static or just ignore the static. So static means that we don't have to create any instance in order to use that method. So instance means that for example, if we are using a scanner, we are using scanner equals to new scanner, right? So this scanner is actually the instance. So this is instance, instance of this class. So in this case, if you are putting a static, then we don't have to use the instance in order to call it. You can directly call the method. Third one is the return type of the method. So by setting it as a void, we actually return nothing. But you can actually, for the function, to return the results that you computed. For example, if you want to compute some integer number and return the result, so it will be int. If you want to return some kind of string, then it will be string. This is the type that you want to return. So in this case, I'm going to use void to return nothing. And lastly is the name of the function. So you can name it anything you want. For example, print anything. So this method, its name is print anything. Also remember that the name of the function should be camel case. That is, lowercase is the first word. Then after that, every first letter will be the uppercase. Other are all lowercase. So this is a naming convention in Java, right? So this print anything has become a function that returns nothing, in which can be used directly, and it can be accessed anywhere, even outside the class, like another class, another file also can access. So print anything, what should it do? The name of the function should represent its operation. So So for example, this is a print anything method, so I will just print anything. Yeah, that's it. This is our first method. Yeah, so in the main method we can actually call the method anytime we want. So for example, I want to print anything like several times, so this is the 3 times, for example. Then I try to run the thing. Go to desktop first, then go to Java and Java ca.java, then call Java main. As you see, you print 3 times of anything. So if let's say sometimes at some point of time I don't want to print anything already, I want to print any. So if I change it at one place, the changes will be applied to all the method code. So in this case, all will become any instead of anything. Okay, so there is another way which we can interact between the main method as well as the method we are building. For example, if we have another method that return a string, and it will return something, and it is dependent on the things that we pass in the main method. So for example, we are passing in a string of text, so I will print I will not print anything but to return the string itself. So let's say I return anything plus pipe yeah, so it will return a concatenated string of anything plus hi. So this, instead of anything, I'll use the text. So it will print the text plus appending the hi as a string back. So let's say if I want to get the result from the method call, I need to initialize a variable to hold the string being returned, right? So I will have a temporary variable that will return something. So inside we will put any kind of string as we define here. So this is the text that will hold the string that we pass from the main method, and this text can be used as a variable for computation or to return. So if I want to return something like show, and definitely I need to print the result, so I will print the MP. So this is how we are going to deal with the interaction between two methods. Yeah, as you can see, it is shown hi. So if we want to change the things being passed inside this method, we need to write the method again, that is changing the string inside. And here, because we already defined a temporary, so I'm going to just overwrite the original temp, become the new temp, and then print the temp again. So after compiling, run Java. Yes, as you can see, firstly the TMP is shown. So after it being passed into this method, it will have space hi, so it will become show hi. And afterwards I use a jar as a parameter. This is called parameter. So it will also like print the jar plus space hi. So I'm going to be using like method for many times later, especially when we touch about the object-oriented programming. So this is definitely the first step that you need to be very careful and really understand what's going on with all these different keywords. If you have any problem, then feel free to discuss in the description or in the comment. That's it. So I will be explaining more about methods in the later videos. See ya.